Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
That, as they say, is that. Marvel Comics. Let's go ahead and get started. Gather up, all you mentees. Today we got another most wanted list. Today we're going to be going over my top 10 most wanted Marvel Gallery Editions hardcovers. So let's go ahead and check out that list and get rid of this hat. And welcome back, everybody. Before I go any further, a big thank you to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Could not be doing this without you all. And when you're looking at this list, when you're watching this video, you may see some books that I've already mentioned in the past because I've been doing this for a few years. So we are looking at the 2024 edition of my top 10 most wanted Marvel Gallery Editions. And these are all the hardcovers, in case you don't know what they are. They're oversized, they're taller, they're bigger than the omnibus editions. And I also want to say, these could be masterpiece editions. Like, Marvel has announced the masterpiece editions with Secret Wars, and also the Alien Costume Volume 1. Or I think it's just Alien Costume. But they could do these as masterpiece editions. And what those are is the same dimensions as the gallery editions. They're using matte paper and they're keeping all the ads in. So it's like they're facsimiles in oversized format. And it would be really cool to see some of these are modern, right? I'd like to see what kind of ads they have there compared to something old. As always, a reminder to smash that like button, please, if you haven't yet. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. All right. Got 10 books to talk about today. So let's go ahead and start the countdown again. The list will be in the description of the video. And also, if you have any more suggestions for top 10 lists, let me know. Or top 20, whatever you want to see. Most wanted. Or non-most wanted. Whatever you want to see. All right. Number 10. Defenders Beyond Gallery Edition. This is the collaboration between Javier Rodriguez and Al Ewing to tell the story of this era's Secret Defenders or Defenders Beyond Defenders, with a different type of lineup. I mean, you've got classic characters in there like Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer, but you also have characters in there like the Masked Raider and Loki and a couple of other surprises if you've been reading Marvel Comics. But again, this format, this gallery edition format and masterpiece format, it's all about how big those books are. So the bigger the books, the bigger the artwork. And that's the reason why it's in here. And number 9, Doctor Strange, The Oath. Collecting all 5 issues of Brian K. Vaughan's Doctor Strange, The Oath. And artwork in here by Marcos Martin. And oh my gosh, this is such, like, the story in here is so good. It's about Doctor Strange trying to solve a murder mystery. However, it's his own murder that he's trying to solve. He's trying to figure out who killed Doctor Strange. It's very almost meta, but not really. But man, that Marcos Martin artwork is so damn good. And the story by Brian K. Vaughan. This is one of the few times that he got to read or got to write the character of Doctor Strange. And it has been collected in like a limited edition hardcover that was a comic book store exclusive and also in trade paperback, but never in a big oversized edition. Number 8. New Mutants, the Demon Bear Saga Gallery Edition or Masterpiece Edition. Either one. I think it goes for granted that I'm talking about both the Masterpiece and Gallery. While it's not very long, you'll see here it's only 3 issues. It is so impactful to not just the New Mutants or even X-Men comics, but comics in general, just because it was such a game changer for this particular title. This is when Chris Claremont was still on the book, and then we had Bill Sienkiewicz coming in from his run on Moon Knight, and changing up the game with this psychedelic, dark style that really, really borders almost like, what kind of rating are they going to give this book? It all centers around Danielle Moonstar Mirage during this time, and how this demon bear has been plaguing her since maybe before she joined the New Mutants. If you've never read it, oh my gosh, it is a dark story, and it has been collected time and time again. There's been trade paperbacks of the Demon Bear, epic collections of the Demon Bear, and omnibus editions. In the New Mutants Volume 1, you can find it there. In the classic edition trade paperbacks. No Masterworks, whenever those get announced. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But yes, oh my gosh, it is so freaking good. This thing that has been plaguing her since she was a child is now come to life, and it's this huge creature known as the Demon Bear. Was even actually they adapted it in the movie. I forgot about that. I almost forgot about the movie. The Last Avengers story, Gallery edition. I love making lists like this because sometimes people are like, what the heck is even that? I love when that happens in the comment section. People haven't even heard of these stories. But this is the story. It's only 2 issues, but it was printed in like the prestige format, so they were oversized. This is by Peter David and Ariel Olivetti. It's one of the first actual works that I saw by Olivetti. And it is the story set in the future about the characters of these Last Avengers. And this one, oh my gosh, I remember when I came back to comics, I told myself, I'm like, oh, I need to pick up the Last Avengers. I don't have those single issues anymore because I sold them all years ago. And I was like, oh, get the trade paperback. That trade paperback was out of print, and it only had those 2 issues. And it was going, at one time, like a beat-up copy for over $100. Anyway, it's not about how much these things go for, but it is about how awesome this story is. I love the way that Peter David wrote the characters. A bunch of the Avengers are dead now. The villains have just destroyed the new Avengers, if you will, these young Avengers. So a lot of these old school Avengers have to come because this is all set in a possible future. Like Hawkeye, who's blind during this time. Wasp was actually trying to stay alive because she keeps shrinking and shrinking. You also have the return of Hank Pym, and he becomes the leader of these particular older Avengers. Cannonball, who was once an X-Man, is now an Avenger here. And yeah, it's how all of them are trying to fight these new villains, and it's just the story about never giving up, and beautiful artwork in here, like that painted almost CG style. And if you're familiar with Olivetti's style, you know, it's the same kind of style he used in his run on Punisher War Journal. Coming in at number 6, Marvels. That's moved. Yeah, that was a lot. I think I had that one time at maybe number 1 or 2 in one of those years. Why has it moved away? Oh, probably because it's been printed in hardcover. We've had like a big monster size. We had like a 30th anniversary, 25th anniversary. But regardless, it's one of the most important stories that Marvel ever published. All by Kurt Busiek and, of course, the legendary Alex Ross. And featuring the character Phil Sheldon. I almost came close, and let me know what you think. Adding Ruins in here, even though that's not both of the gentlemen working on the book, but it does feature a possible future with Phil Sheldon. Let me know what you think about that. But that painted style, bringing these characters that are outside your window to life, it I don't know if the Marvel universe ever looked better than when Alex Ross was doing this, because there's a sense of innocence and of a time gone when he's painting these particular characters. Absolutely stunning artwork, and of course a beautiful, beautiful story that can only be told by Kurt Busiek. Number 5, Daredevil, Man Without Fear, Gallery Edition. We've had a lot of Daredevil. We have Daredevil Yellow, we've had the Daredevil Born Again, but I really would love to see the artwork in here by John Romita Jr. And again, Frank Miller writing the stories and the script for these 5 issues. I love the way that John Romita Jr. drew this series, and I love the way that he drew and depicted the Kingpin. I don't think anybody drew a more menacing Kingpin than he did. And he just looks like a big, like, you know, he's not a fat guy, just like full of muscle. Just happens to be really large. And of course, it is the origin of Daredevil, and you'll see some cameos in here by Stick and Elektra, and maybe a couple of other characters from the Marvel Universe. Many times this has been collected, and speaking of many times that this has been collected, doesn't matter. This is all about the oversized art. X-Men Days of Future Past and Days of Future Present in there. So, of course, collecting the 2 issues, it's crazy to think about Days of Future Past being this huge X-Men event. That's only 2 issues. That's it. 141 and 142. And then, of course, The follow-up that didn't happen until years later with Days of Future Present that went through all of the annuals. But in there you'll have artwork by not just John Bogdanove, but also Arthur Adams. Beautiful oversized artwork and set, around the era of these characters, mainly Rachel, of course, and then Franklin, who will play a big part in both of these stories. Avengers Forever. Carlos Pacheco, we lost him at such a young age, and this era of Avengers Forever, Avengers Forever, Uncanny Omar Talk Pretty One Day. This is my favorite art that he did. I love this dynamic style, and there's nothing wrong with like his stuff over at Aerosmith, or even the stuff that came before. But I feel like this was so perfect. I loved it. His stuff in the Superman, the Camelot Falls, that's excellent too. But there's just something really amazing about this. This, to me, was true comic book dynamic. And all 12 issues, of course, written by not just Kurt Busiek, but also Roger Stern, fixing those Avengers timelines. Jesus Marino actually does some of the artwork in here, but just to have that Pacheco in oversized format, absolutely, I would love that. And coming in at number 2, Black Widow by Kelly Thompson, Gallery Edition. When we're talking about Gallery Editions, it's really weird to say Black Widow by Kelly Thompson, since she's not the artist in the book. And it really should be the artist, like Elena Casagrande, that should be the spotlight. So maybe by Kelly Thompson, because I mean, Kelly Thompson isn't alone, right? It's also Elena Casagrande, Rafael de la Torre, and Rafael Pimentel. So I just wanted the entire run collected in an oversized format. It's 15 issues. It would be one of the biggest gallery editions, but I think they can do it. I don't think, since they're not focusing on oversized hardcovers anymore, maybe shifting the focus back to something like this in a gallery edition. It's modern. And even if they want to do a masterpiece edition of this, that would be great. I'd love to see what the ads look like in comics. It's so weird to say that, right? Like, people actually paying for ads in comic books, but there's some sense of nostalgia to that. So I don't know if he'll make it into a masterpiece edition, but definitely a good candidate for that gallery edition. This one would be a good candidate for both. Coming in at number 1, Spider-Man: Kraven's Last Hunt. It was supposed to come out, and then it got moved out of nobody really knew about it because I get to see the list ahead of time. But they did move it out of the schedule and to be announced now. And that was a couple of years ago. So it's been a couple of years. So I may need to remind them, hey, this was on the schedule. Do you still plan on doing it? Or maybe a masterpiece edition. Regardless. It is a wonderful, beautiful story. Dark. Probably one of the darkest Spider-Man stories by J.M. DeMatteis and, of course, Mike Zeck. And I also, you may notice, added Soul of the Hunter, because I know it's not just both of them working on it, and it's kind of a follow-up to the Kraven the Hunter, but I feel like it really brings it together, too. And I'd love to see it in oversized format, because that one hasn't been collected in Omnibus. It has been collected in a deluxe edition, though. But yeah, this is a classic story. I mean, when people think of classic Spider-Man stories, this is definitely one. We got like Todd McFarlane Gallery Edition for Spider-Man. We got Spider-Man Blue. I feel like we need something dark in there to represent Spidey, and this is the one. Now, if and when these books ever come out, check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltzcomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my top 10 most wanted Marvel Gallery or Masterpiece editions. Let me know in the comments down below what out of this list you think would make it, what out of this list I'm crazy for adding, and what you would add on your list. Let me know your top 10, your top 5, your top 1, whatever it is. But that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you have ideas for more lists, let me know in the comments down below. But for now, I'm out of here. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.